Athletes and fans around the world, welcome to another episode of Primetime Muscle. It's Christmas week, fellas. Hello and welcome.
Ho, ho, ho.
Ho, ho, ho. I thought you guys were going to dress up.
Well, excuse us underdressing the hella Christmas guy.
I
with
think
the bell. Look at the shoulder. Look at the sleeve.
First of all, do we have a message to our entire audience, a Merry Christmas message? Let's have Tim, who's definitely the most qualified one, to send a deep message to our camera right there.
There you go. Go. Now.
I'd like to wish all of our family.
Hold on. Can we get a close-up on him? I mean, the guy puts on a nice jacket.
Show them.
He's got a beard. Everybody give Nico an attitude on cue.
Get under the mistletoe.
Everybody give Nico an attitude on cue. 1, 2, 3.
All right, we got the matching pants.
The mistletoe is right above his head.
Christmas message from Primetime Muscle by the great Tim Wilk.
The mistletoe.
As you all gather around the fires and weight plates to celebrate the season, I know many of you are saying, I wish I had that one special item, calves. Well, I hope you get those calves this season. I hope you find your six-packs and it's not one that's going to put an extra little section on your tummy. I hope that six-pack is your tummy. I hope you all find loved ones to gather around and enjoy, and for once, please, don't complain that the gym closes early on that special day. Happy holidays and Merry Christmas to all of you, our friends and family around the world, from us here at Primetime Muscle.
Don't put something on my...
Wow, that was beautiful.
All
right. So, last year's Mr. Olympia, we are decorating.
Wait. Can we rate the fit, though? 1 to 10, the fit?
Can he do a little parade?
Get out there and rate the fit. Come on now.
Look at
Rate the fit. Rate the fit. 1 to 10. Rate the fit.
Leave
it in the comments.
The drip.
Leave it in the comments. Rate the fit.
Oh my God.
You know he went the extra mile. He went the extra mile.
The women going crazy on the set. Calm down, ladies. Calm down.
Our studio audience.
Rate the fit.
I will say at some point I feel like Tim Ellen fell off a roof and I got to be Santa now.
Rate the fit.
The belly and the beard. All right.
1 to 10.
Guys, let's dive into today's episode. 2 Olympias ago, Derek Lunsford was our champion. This year was a bit of a different story for Derek, and we're all trying to think, all right, he's got his own gym now. He just built in Tampa. Stunning facility with state-of-the-art equipment. What is next for our champ?
I love Derek Lunsford.
As do I.
I love Derek Lunsford. I love what he represents in the history of bodybuilding. He's a Mr. Olympia. He won the 212, and I've seen this man down before. I've seen him down, and I know he will rise again. A few years back, when Big Ramy won his first Olympia, Derek Lunsford is backstage in a corner. He had placed 4th as a 212 competitor. And I went on to talk to him. And, I knew he was a great champion. He had won the USA's. He had placed 2nd a few years prior to Flex Lewis. And he was down. But, he came back to win the 212. He came back to storm the open division and to become Mr. Olympia. So I'm not concerned about him. I think physically, he's one of the best we have. I think mentally, he's gone through a lot of adversities, and I think he's going to come back stronger than ever. It's hard. It's real hard to be a Mr. Olympia and then to go from 1st to 3rd, So, he was devastated, and he should be, because you have pride, right? You want to win that title. You want to keep that title. But I think he's going to come back, and I think he's going to surprise a lot of people. What does he have to do physically? He's got one of the best backs in the business. His legs need to come up, and I talked to him on the phone. He goes, Tarek, a month prior to the show, I had the legs, and then I felt like the legs were shrinking. So I need to hold on to my legs. he showed some updates on social media and he looked incredible. I'm a believer that Derek Lunsford will eventually win the Mr. Olympia again.
Don't feel sorry for this man because he ain't going nowhere. Third place is not that bad. Third place is actually really good. You're third in the world. It's not like you in third of the line trying to get food stamps or something. It's like you're still third in the world. You're still right there where you need to be. You're still in striking distance to get your title back. He's been in this position before. He hasn't been down that much. I mean, this guy's had an amazing career, an amazing life. He got an amazing wife, and amazing kids. Everything's amazing. Just got his gym to put together. You know, I'm gonna go out there and get some sessions in with him. Also, we're gonna spend a week together, and this guy is still where he needs to be in order to go back to where he was, and that's number one in the world. The legs, I would think, need to come up, Tarek. The legs, and I'm not talking about Instagram legs, not talking about social media legs. I'm talking about when the rubber meets the road, when you are going on stage, do those legs match the upper body? Your posing needs to be impeccable. Your training leading up to the show, everything needs to be spot on for you to reach the next level. And the next level is retaining that title back again that you already obtained. But the legs got to be, I think, posed different. I think they need to be trained different. You need to enter that level of no return intensity. That's what it's going to take to make a difference in his physique.
Guys, here's my question. There's only been a couple guys that even had a break in their Olympia reign. Schwarzenegger being one, but he took a few years off, make some movies.
Jay Cutler.
Jay Cutler. Now, he's the first one, really, as you look through this.
Interception again.
It was good. That actually had a break. Was he out in 2008, or did he just get cleanly beaten
He lost
to
Dexter Jackson
in 2008.
in 2008.
How far did he fall that year?
He placed second.
Okay.
Now, there's an interesting thing about this. In 2008, when Jay Cutler lost to Dexter Jackson, Phil Heath was third. And Flex magazine put it on the cover of the following year. A picture of
Phil Heath and Jay.
half Phil Heath and half Dexter Jackson.
Was it him?
Yes.
Jay.
Half Phil Heath and half Dexter Jackson.
Two brothers.
And they put Jay Cutler on the bottom corner. And I know Jay. He's a very nice guy. But he was highly upset. And that fueled him to come back and be the only Mr. Olympia to regain his title.
I was in the auditorium that afternoon, evening. The crowd was on Dexter's side. They were kind of calling for the title to be taken away from Jay.
In 2008.
In 2008. But that whole year, I spoke about this before, he lobbied the whole crowd, the whole nation, the whole world to get back on his side and back on his team. And by the time he was always saying he's the people champion, he is the original, he is the real leader of the fitness world. He is the ambassador of bodybuilding. And he let them know that I'm coming for my title and I will not be stopped. By the time we got to the competition, no one was clapping for Dexter. No one in there but his family was clapping for Dexter. And I'm telling you right now, that he overtook that title with vengeance.
The last few years, the last guy to fall that far from a win was Ramy, who went first to fifth.
Yeah.
So that was a pretty precipitous drop. Now, so this begs the question. So Derek alluded to coming back to the Arnold, to do the Arnold Classic. And your thought was, oh, no. You take that full year and come back perfect for the Olympia.
Yeah, there's a few factors, right? Samson has committed to doing the Arnold. That could be an advantage for you at the Olympia, right? But going right now to the Arnold, Samson might be ahead of you. So now you take another placing behind Samson, and that kind of solidifies that Samson is the guy. You take a whole year off, you come back to the Olympia, and you shock the world and you regain your title. That is the goal for Derek. I think mentally, it has not been easy, despite the fact that he's won the Mr. Olympia. He took second. He's been very successful. He just had a baby, right? Baby Eve. And, he's starting his family. The pressure of being Mr. Olympia is huge. Now you have all the emotion of losing the title and going to third. My advice to him was like, dude, take 1 week, 2 weeks, and forget about bodybuilding. Just play with your daughter on the sand and have dinner with your wife. That's going to be great for your mindset. Jay Cutler, Ronnie Coleman, they had that period of decompression. That's important, man. It's a crazy sport.
Well, he's also changing coaches now. So
who's he coaching?
He is not written in stone who it is. Right now, it's just,
he has to change. He has no choice.
Yeah, he's thinking.
But do you have a guess? Do you have a guess? It seems like you know something and you just don't want to tell us.
I don't know. Maybe, he has a training partner that trains with Chris Aceto. So he's probably in his ear about, maybe try him. But, there's a few people. There's Chad Nichols. There's some AJ Sim. I don't know. You tell me, but I know he knows his own physique enough to where he might have some input to whoever he wants to go with. Or if he wants to train himself, that would be fine with me.
Well, we know more than anything he has to change trainers because his coach, one of the greatest coaches in the history of the sport, the man who's had the last 3 Mr. Olympias, Hany Rambod, has said, I've done enough. And he's stepping down from training elite athletes.
That's a sad day in bodybuilding.
Yeah.
As young as he is, but as great as he's been, we're going to talk about his impact on the sport and much, much more when we come back on Primetime Muscle. So we hope that you're all set to get on that treadmill like you are right now and work off those Christmas cookies. One of the best trainers in the globe for the last few years, probably globally.
Well, I'll tell you this. He might be one of the greatest coaches of all times. But if you're talking about globally, I have to mention Global Formulas, which is train hard, demand the best. In order to be the best coach in the business, Tim Wilkins, you need to be kind of a freak. You need to know that at 2 o'clock in the morning, your client might be calling you to take a look at him because he's not certain about his physique. And if you have BioFreak, trust me, you're not sleeping at 2 in the morning.
I thought he missed that segue, but he didn't. He never misses it.
He never misses.
We thank Global Formulas for their sponsorship and all the great supplements they give to the elite athletes around the sport. So we're talking today, not just about Global Formulas, Jacob Frank and his team of amazing athletes, but one of the greatest coaches of our generation, Hany Rambod.
Hany has been around. I remember meeting Hany 2005, I believe. He came to my room with the great Chad Nichols, who was coaching me at the time. And he was telling him what I'm going through, what I've been looking like, or what I should do moving forward for this competition. Wasn't the greatest show for me. I remember it was up in, I believe, San Francisco. But that's when I first met Hany. But I guess he's been around some of the top coaches and learned from whoever he can learn from. I heard he learned from Chad, but he was around some of the greatest. Ronnie Coleman, Jay Cutler, Phil Heath went on his way. Went into the figure division with Nicole Wilkins.
Wilkins, yeah.
Wilkins trained her for a few titles, and then he was on his way on different divisions and very diverse coach. I wish him well. And
Spend some more time with his family, his beautiful
Yeah,
wife,
man.
their son.
Yeah.
Got things to do. You get priorities change as you. Then you get to the point.
Yes, priorities
somewhere,
change.
and you say, "I've done all I can do. The last 3 Mr. Olympias. I've coached the top athletes in the sport. You just cash it in."
Well, I'm gonna say he was stressed out.
or
right?
is he being a sore loser
Here's-
and picking up his ball and going home?
I'm sorry.
Is he being a sore loser for the title, picking up his ball and gonna go home now?
Well, here's the deal. If one of his guys had won the Olympia, would he have retired?
I don't know.
That is a great question. I think victory brings great, great joy. But I think, it's not a defeat because they're placing second and third at the Olympia. Like you said, those are great titles. But we all know the guys that have been Mr. Olympia, for them to play second and third is a loss. It's a disaster. So all that emotional distress also goes to the coach, right?
Points at him.
They point at him. People point at him. And then he also feels responsible because his guys didn't win. That's part of the game. Hany Rambod made his name mostly because of Phil Heath, right? He won a lot of the titles that Phil Heath won all his titles with Hany Rambod. And Hany always brought Phil Heath with great conditioning. Also, he was the guy that brought Jay Cutler great conditioning in 2009. He had Nicole Wilkins, and then he trained Chris Bumstead 2022, 2023, and 2024. In 2022, he did a marvelous job with Chris Bumstead. He's highly experienced, but he lived a very stressful life. And that takes a toll on your health. And I know his wife, Veriel Farinas, she's a beautiful young lady. She's passionate about the sport. She was a great figure competitor herself. She also gets emotionally involved with the suffering of her husband, right? You don't want to see your husband struggling. And I know Hany on a personal basis. When his clients are competing, he is there. I mean, he gets sick. I've seen this guy get sick show after show. I see him on Sunday and he's sick. His immune system is shot because he didn't sleep, he didn't eat well, he's stressed. And he's probably the greatest of all times.
Let's list this off because you're our resident historian here, Tarek. So Jay Cutler. How many? The 2009 Olympia, or did you work with him before?
9 and 10.
9 and 10.
Phil Heath 7.
So that's 9. That's 9 titles. Jay wasn't.
First there was Aceto.
Yeah.
Nicole 4.
So there's 14. Hany.
Got Hany 1. Derek 1. You can also put Derek 212 right there.
Yep. So, but just
Jeremy Buendia 4 right there. It was his boy. You got to put Chris Bumstead with 3. But it was a lot of successful people.
It was never another physique competitor after Jeremy, correct? For a title.
Not for a title.
Not for a title.
So we're
what do you
talking
mean not for a title?
I mean, he didn't win another Olympia title with another physique competitor besides Jeremy.
Oh, that's a good question. No, I don't think so.
But at least, so we're as we try to sum up who is the absolute best of Olympia winners, there can't be anybody any close.
Well, it's also relative, right? Because, like Chris Cormier said, Hany learned from Chad, right? Chad was the guy that inspired Hany, mentored Hany in the beginning. That's why Hany went into the room to see Chris with Chad Nichols. So he was learning from. And Chad has a tremendous reputation, right? Yep. At one point, Chad had Ronnie Coleman, had everybody, right?
Flex, myself.
Had everybody. And prior to Chad.
And Nasser all in the same Olympia.
And prior to Chad, there wasn't a business of all these girls, right? He was the first guy. Am I right or am I wrong?
There was Chris Aceto was there. There was, what's the guy that helped Flex years ago? He was out of Gold's Gym.
Charles Glass?
No. As far as diet, yeah. Charles never did diet. Neil Spruce. He's the one.
Neil Spruce.
Neil Spruce started the business of it.
Really?
Yeah.
Neil Spruce.
Yeah, he was in Gold's Gym, and he'd have you a printout of what you should eat, and I like that style with the computer. It was a little printout you would get. You eat these foods, you're gonna end up at this weight, and that was working back in the day. I remember that well.
So, so Chad Nichols, but I think Hany, based on title, he's the greatest of all times.
That's something you can't take away from somebody. And when we look at dynasties of Olympia winners like Sid Gillen and I'm trying to think, Andrea Shaw and Bumstead, these guys. Women's fitness, is it Adela? Who's got the
Adela has 10.
So she's got the most titles. But I don't see those kind of dynasties happening too much anymore. And so a guy like that, a coach like that, it's going to be hard-pressed to beat that record in the future.
Now, one of the things that Hany was also great at was recruiting. He was great at recruiting competitors.
Great eye.
A lot of these coaches, they are good coaches, but they don't go after the great talent. And Hany is very smart. He sees talent and he takes them on. I remember, Steve Kuklu. Nobody was giving any attention to Steve Kuklu after he placed 13th at the Nationals. He was a disappointment there. He was flat. And Hany, credit to him. He goes, you know what? Nobody's giving credit to paying attention to Steve Kuklu. I'm going to take him on my team. And Steve Kuklu went on to win the USAs in 2009. So Hany has a great eye for recruiting great competitors.
But that's one of those names in the last couple of years. I hate to kind of ping pong, but Kuklo, Patrick Moore. There's been a few guys in the last few years that I thought, we're about to see huge things, and they've just kind of. I'm waiting to see Sergio Oliva come back.
Bodybuilding is like that, but I feel like people think they have a lot of time to make it happen, and the body works the same for everyone. Once you get closer to that 40 mark, your lower back starts to get a little bit cloudy, your legs try to shrink a little bit, your waist gets a little wider like mine did, and you start to see a little different physique. And you're trying to fight against that the whole time, but some people have been able to go up into the 45 area and be well and do well. And Dexter was Dexter, so he didn't get a lot of injuries, and he was lucky to go up into that upper echelon of age and still be very effective. A weaker group of guys. First, they say, I didn't say it, they said it, but he did well. He did really great. He kept himself going as much as he could, and he's, he was one of a kind.
Well, Hany's impact on the sport it will definitely be felt for a long time to come. He will be missed. It will be interesting to see as we do. Is it going to be A.J. Sims? Who is going to take that place up at the upper echelon?
Well, you got to go with the names that people know. You can't get the new internet guy, Milo Sarcev, Chris Aceto, Chad Nichols, some of these guys that people know. I think, they're going to be training some of the leading guys.
All right. Well, as always, drop us a comment who you think who some of the greatest coaches and gurus are out there. Share with them, and maybe people that read your comments will have an insight into who they might want to beg to be their coach for the next move up the food chain. Guys, so exciting. This has been where Derek is going, where Hany took us. Two great things to definitely talk about and applaud today.
Happy holidays, guys.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Yes, thank you all for joining us and being a part of our Primetime Muscle family. We hope you the very best of holidays. Take care. We'll see you on the next Primetime Muscle.